What small changes are you making that could make a big difference to your team and your workplace culture? I was speaking recently at an asset management conference, and I was on a panel and we were talking about bringing your people along on the change journey. And it doesn't really matter what kind of change you're doing. It could be, in this case, it was around sustainability and decarbonization, but this applies whether you're going through digital change or AI change, any other kind of change process. And it's really important to understand that everybody comes along on that change journey in a different way. They started with different expertise, different wisdom, different experience in the organization and the industry, and some of them are keen to change, some are reluctant to change, some embrace change, some don't. Some, when the change happens, they take to it like a duck to water. Others takes a little bit longer. So we were talking about these challenges, and the panel moderator Keith asked people in the audience whether they had experiences of moving through change. And one of the participants, her name's Isabella Silva, I asked for permission to share her name. She told a story about an organization she worked in where they went through this issue. They were digitalizing some of their processes, and as a result of it, they got equipment which previously it was hard to get information about what was happening, and then they created these digital dashboards which were really useful, and the dashboards gave different views showing different ways that the operations of the company and the business, and especially their assets, because that's what this was about. And what they found was that some people loved the dashboards and they could see immediately the value in them, but other people got a little bit confused by them at first. They could understand the dashboards, but when you switch from one view to the next, then it didn't quite make sense to them. And in many of their meetings, they were showing dashboards and doing these sort of switching between views. And there were a few people who just couldn't get it. And because they couldn't get it, they were falling behind. And Isabella said that the change that they made in their team was when they showed a dashboard, they just paused for 5 seconds and gave people a chance to look at it and to understand what was on that dashboard. And that 5-second pause was all it took for everybody to get it. And isn't this true? Whenever you show any data, if you've been to a presentation and you see the presenter show a slide that's got complex information on it, and the presenter starts talking straight away, you don't get it. You don't understand it because you're trying to process information at the same time as you're trying to listen to the presenter. And this is what was happening here. And what they found in this company was all it took was a 5-second pause for people to get it, and then you could continue. And this is it's a small change, but it made a profound difference, because the people who are coming along on that journey, the ones who took an extra few seconds to grasp the idea, they were going to be left behind. Right? And this is just a 5-second intervention that made a huge difference. And the point I'm making is that not every change requires a massive amount of work to bring people on the journey, to get people to catch up, if you like. So another approach might have been to invest in some professional development, to help those people go on some sort of digital training or AI literacy training, or understanding, like job shadowing somebody who can explain the dashboards. It didn't require any of that. All it took was 5 seconds. And this is the point. You don't have to spend a lot of money, time and resources to help people on the change journey. All of those professional development things are useful, and sometimes they're the most appropriate way to bring people on the journey, but it doesn't have to be. Sometimes all it takes is these tiny changes, these tiny little levers that you can pull that will make a big difference. So look around in the change processes that you're doing. What are the small changes that you can make that will make a big difference? And they're likely to be at an individual level. It's not saying that you can make that 5-second change and it'll affect everybody, but it'll affect some people and it'll help some people. So look at those tiny levers, look at those tiny changes that you can make that'll make a big difference. This is part of building a culture of change agents. And if you'd like to know more about this, I'm running a free public online presentation very soon. I'm calling it Keep the Change, and it's all about practical things that you can do to bring people along on the change journey. As I said, it's free, it's open to everybody, so please register and invite others in your team and your network as well. I'm sure you'll get value from it. I'll see you in the future.